Hello and welcome to Innovation TV live at CARTES Secure Connections. Right now we'll have a look at the conference insight about privacy. The consumer takes control. And with me, Jan Lewijs. Hello and welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us. You're Manager Security and Privacy at Deloitte, based in Amsterdam. So, well, first question is, are we approaching privacy in the correct manner?
Yes, I think we are. But we have to take care, because with all the technology around us, and we saw something here on the floor also, the Internet of Things and all different kinds of things, we are generating more and more and more data. Data that's very personal to people. Not only our financials, but also all other types of data that can be very, very telling about who they are and what they do.
And are they competing against each other? For example, the payment data and the personal data?
Actually, if you ask a consumer, so from their perspective, these two are almost the same. Payment data, financial data, is very personal to them. It's very sensitive, and they want to keep their own money, but they also don't want that their neighbors have insight to their income or to their payments. What they also don't want is that their neighbors have insight in, for instance, their medical records, or and what is particularly more and more collected these days is location data.
Right.
Your telephone knows exactly where you are at each moment in time. And people find that very convenient on the one hand, and very scary on the other hand.
Yeah. And do you think we should adopt a new approach, or instead of trying to conform to the legacy systems we have?
The problem with the legacy systems is that they are legacy. We have to protect them and protect the information in there very good. But they will most probably not lend themselves for optimal privacy protection. For that you might need to move to new systems, new methods of processing that data, right. And applying from the very first moment that you start designing these systems, thinking about the security and privacy of them. How do I secure the data inside? And what can I do to prevent privacy mishaps from happening? What can I do to prevent the misuse of data? That the data only gets used for what the people actually gave the data for. That's going to be more and more and more important over the next 5 years, I guess.
Okay. And right now, I mean, there's a lot of emphasis that's being put on biometrics, for example, and tokens. Is this enough?
I think so. Biometrics gives us a whole new world of opportunities in the sense of knowing which people are which and making positive identification, basically, and authentication possibilities. The thing with biometrics is it can also be pretty dangerous because your biometrics are very unique to you. You can change, if you want to, you have a login name at the moment for something, right, for your email, and you have a password for your email. You can change that if you want to. It's very hard to change your fingerprint. It's very hard to change your iris.
Yes. Yes.
So they provide a huge opportunity,
yeah,
and a risk at the same time, and that has to be managed.
And therefore, are service providers and consumers under a full sense of security in terms of managing and protecting our biometric credentials?
Yeah, I think so. They're getting the hang of it. There have been some incidents in the past, and there will be some incidents in the future. For instance, there is a large database with DNA biometrics out there, and it can be used by researchers. But we also have seen abuse by people who basically want to try and discriminate based on DNA. Now, that's not a good thing. So they quickly blocked it, and it's no more possible. So we will have this learning experience and this learning curve when it comes to using biometrics for people's identification, but making sure it's properly protected and that privacy is guaranteed.
Right. And when do you think consumers will become aware enough to be able to dictate and manage who has access to their data?
I think consumers may already be aware. There are a lot of consumer polls out there. They ask consumers constantly on okay, how do you feel about this type of data? How do you feel about that type of data? And the key word there is trust. Do you trust that organization with your data? Do you trust that government with your data? Now, those are very big questions. And probably, I think that in the end you will see that those organizations, those governments, that will be able to create the most trust of the consumers, of the citizens in their services and in their own being, if you like, probably those organizations and those governments are the ones that will be able to win. So if you ask the question, will consumers understand the way they can access the data, and will they have the knowledge to be able to do this? Isn't it the organizations, isn't it us, the organizations providing all these systems, that should also be providing these systems and make them aware of the fact that how they can access this data and how they can control it? And probably the one that does that best in the future will probably be, well, you could say a winner, but at least a very, very big player, because they will get the trust of the consumers by offering these possibilities.
Right. And which use cases do you think will take the lead, driving awareness and demand for such capabilities?
That's a difficult question, because now you're asking me to predict the future. Predicting is always hard, especially about the future. Looking ahead, I think that those organizations that have the most sensitive data, those were the ones that will feel the need first. And probably one of them will come up with a solution and with use cases for this. So thinking about most sensitive data, what am I thinking of? Well, of course the financial industry. Financial services, in the broader sense of the word, not only banks, but insurance companies as well. They always had very, very sensitive data about us. Who else? Who else? Let's see. The medical sector. Everything that's going on in the medical sector, you want control over that data as a patient. And you want it to be properly guarded against basically people who want to, who just want to have a peek at it.
Yeah.
So those two are there. Then there's the government. They know a lot about us. And if you can still choose your bank, you can still choose your insurance company. It's pretty hard to choose your government. So they need to do a good job in this. Yeah. So those probably are the sectors where it will move first. Particular use cases, I think we have to wait and see in the coming years.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for being with us today, Jan. You will have this conference is taking place tomorrow, so that's a lot about the privacy. And we'll see you later for another Conference Insight tomorrow. Thank you very much.